Hi Lumineers! Jamie Butler here. Welcome to the Lighter Side Show, live streaming on Facebook. We're going to be channeling today. I say we. I am just one person. I need to learn to say the I. But my God, I feel like there's a universe inside of each of us. We have the right to say we without seeming crazy. I wish I were just staying today because Grace is coming through and she's going to talk to you about how to stay calm in chaos. Yeah, we're all nodding our head over here. Yeah, I'll watch this later. We thank you in advance for your comments and your questions. We will do our best to get to all of them today. Colleen is hot on the trail. You can't see her off screen.
No, but they can see my knees.
They can?
They can. I'm seeing my knee. Look, these are my knees.
This is funny. All right, if you are new to channeling, what you'll see is it looks as if I go to sleep. I'm going to be surrendering my body and allowing Grace to come in. If you're sensitive and you're watching this live, even recorded, you might feel a shift in your body. Some people feel lightheaded, more expansive. Even some people feel a little dizzy. I say set your energetic boundaries. What's yours is yours, and what's everybody else's is everybody else's, and have a little water and stay grounded. You will not be leaving your body today, just me. With that said, have a great time. If you can see energy, do take a look on the right side of my body. For dyslexic people, that's this side. I do that for myself. Look between my ear and my shoulders. Sometimes you can see light changing shifts, shadows, sparkles, and lots of blue and white. Okay, have fun. Bye. I feel like I haven't done this in so long. Okay. Bye. Jolly. You guys got to meet Jolly. Sai's going to be coming back, but I think Jolly is going to be a part of the team.
I think Sai. I don't want to make that announcement.
No, you can make the announcement.
But I think Sai's coming next week.
Okay. I was trying to be like Grace.
Oh, Maitland. I'm so happy to see you.
I have to come in really fast because we're going to share this. I'm going to do a little lesson thing on how to stay calm in moments of chaos. Hi, Lumineers! I love you. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then Grace is going to come through and she can answer all the questions and everything. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
good.
Love that.
And Colleen, can we put the Pet Week back on the calendar, please?
Yes. I believe Pet Week is going to be in November.
Okay.
I'm working on the schedule, and I will make it as soon as possible in November as I can. Can you wait until then?
Yes, I can wait.
So Pet Week in November.
I don't want to wait, but I can wait.
Yeah.
When do we get to do this full time? I think we need to do this full time.
Well, I think we would all love to do it full time.
Yeah, because I think I get to sit with a lot of the Lumineers that are here because you guys ask for me and I come and play with you, and I really appreciate that. And I'm seeing that a lot of us are so similar, and we really just are looking for the community where we can be ourselves every day with all of our intuition and our abilities. And I think that's why it's very important to talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is how to stay calm. But first I want to talk about what calm means, because even though like a lot of people say that I'm very hyper and that I talk a lot and everything, but even when I do this, I'm very calm on the inside. All that calm means is that you're in a neutral place. Do you know what neutral is? Do you know what neutral is?
I do.
Neutral is, then you know. Then I don't have to say.
But you can still explain your version of neutral.
Neutral is when you have like a lack of opinion and you're able to support the situation. So you're neither positive about it or you're neither negative about it. You are just right in the center. And right in the center where that line is, where all your chakras are on, like where your spine is, where the cord, your nervous cord. That's not what it's called. Your spinal cord? When your spinal
Could be
cord
your
is...
nervous cord, depending on what's going on.
I get it. That's funny. that line where all the chakras communicate, it doesn't have a positive energetic vibration, and it doesn't have a negative like energetic vibration. It's very neutral, and it doesn't have, it has a task, a duty to stay that way. It doesn't have to go one way or the other, and that's where you find really good communication. So when you're calm, it's not like where your heart rate is under a certain number and you're calm, or where your breath is very calm, or your voice, or you look like you're sedated. that doesn't necessarily mean calm, because often in our biggest moments of excitement and joy, we're really calm. Because calm is easier to find when we have joy, and a lot of other emotions and techniques are much easier to obtain when we have happiness and joy in our body. But we're talking today about how to find it when we're in chaos. And that doesn't just mean the people around you, the environment around you. It means like chaos on the inside of you. Like if you're having really crazy thoughts, or if you're having really crazy emotions, and it goes to like anxiety or nervousness or worry or obsessiveness or panic attacks or depression or manic depression and things like that. That's what I mean when we talk about chaos is on the inside. Everybody with me? I wish I could put you all in the room with me.
That'd be so much fun. I wish we could have everybody in the room.
Are we going to do the Luma Summit?
We're talking about
2017 Luma Summit.
We love that idea, and it's something that we want to explore.
Because I could host it.
That'd be so much fun.
Just offering.
2017 Luma Summit. Who's in?
I'm in. If you don't have someone who can host it, I can do it.
You can help me plan the whole thing.
Okay. So in those moments, like I have 2 points, and then I'll get out of here and I'll let Grace come through. I like the way this shirt feels. It's very soft, like a pajama. I have 2 points to make. That number one, when you're in the moments of chaos, remember there are four parts inside of you. You have your head part, your mental, you have your heart part, and you have your body part, and you have your spiritual part. So there's 4 roommates in your house. And your house doesn't stop with your skin. Your house is how big your energy is. So I wanted you to get that image, because you're all of this. You're all of this. You're not just this. And your 4 parts. Often in moments of chaos, only one part is wonky. It's true. Only one part's like really crazy and has no boundaries and doesn't know what it's doing. It's just going ape crazy. And your other part is like, whoa, what's going on? All of a sudden we've lost control of this roommate over here. We're freaking out. And the other one says, quick, we got to do something. We gotta lay some boundaries down. We gotta go eat something to get grounded. We gotta go run. We gotta run and get out of here. It'll start to problem solve it. When most of the time we don't need the other roommates to problem solve that other crazy roommate's issue. Isn't that weird? I mean, if you could think about it, like 4 people living in a house, and one just goes, whoa, and the other 3 are like trying to give answers. It's just not working. But if you can get the other 3 or 2 bodies in your house to just go neutral and say, okay, I'm not going to put out an opinion. And so your body goes, okay, my first answer was that we got to run. And so then you say, okay, well, listen, I'm governing everything here. So thank you, body. I know that you want to run. Let's just listen to that answer and let's sit on it. And let's not do it. Let's stay neutral. And let's listen to what the needs are for the crazy roommate. So you go to that body that is causing the chaos. And I don't mean crazy as in like loco crazy. What's the word? I mean crazy like it's not finding its own balance. I mean like an irregular pattern. I just wanted to be more clear with that. And so if you go to the body that has the irregular pattern and you go, what do you need? Like, what's up? What do you need? And you ask, then that crazy one that's doing the irregular pattern, most of the time, I'm telling you, most of the time will go, I need to be alone because this is too stimulating, it's too much. And then your body goes, oh, I can do that for you. Let's get in the car and go home. Great. And you go home. And all of a sudden, the crazy body goes, thank you. And then you need to be aware to have the other ones that aren't an irregular pattern to go, what do you need now? Because most of the time, the other body then can say, well, I didn't feel right because I didn't have such and such and such and such. And then you can put it into terms of meeting the need rather than burying it or medicating it or running from it. So that's the one thing. Remember there's 4. There's a microphone. Oh, wait. Did you hear it?
I did. I don't know if everyone else did, but I heard it.
I did a burp. Jamie's not going to like that.
It was a very sweet burp. I think it's okay. Yeah.
Remember that there's 4 bodies, and that when one is having an irregular pattern and creating chaos on the inside of you, the job of the other roommates is to go to this 1 or 2 and say, what do you need? And then meet those needs at that moment. And then when those needs are met, go back again and say, what do you need now? Because the second time you ask, you're going to get more of the honesty and more of the awareness of how to fulfill those needs. And when you're fulfilling the needs, those other roommates, they remain neutral. They're not going to say, oh, that's terrible that you're asking for that. That's not a good thing. That doesn't look good. Or aren't you so sweet? That was the best thing ever for you to ask you. That's the right answer, because there's not really a right answer and a wrong answer. And some of us, I know that you're listening and then you're going, okay, but how do you do that? And that's the second thing I want to talk about, is that staying calm or staying neutral requires a lot of forgiveness. Because I think the word that's used today is trigger, to be triggered. And when things are triggered within you, is because you haven't made peace with them yet. And so it requires forgiveness and attention on your side. So whenever you go, they did that and they hurt blah, 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 and they whatever, and it had nothing to do with you, but you reacted, or maybe it did have something to do with you and you reacted, guess what? It's all you. It's you. It's not them. It's not them at all, because you choose how to feel. You choose how to feel, and you chose to be triggered. And if you chose to be triggered, then it's all about you, and you don't understand. I could do a duet with Will Ferrell.
I love you, Maitland. I do. I would love for you just to make up a bunch of songs.
Yeah?
You could sing lessons.
Oh my God, I can make
That would be
children's songs.
so much fun.
If you're triggered, if you're triggered, it's all about you.
And no one else.
And no one else.
Oh my God.
We have a show. I like it. Okay, those are my 2 things. I have to go. I don't really want to go. And I miss you guys, and I love each and every one of you. And if you need anything, you just ask me, and I will come help. But I'll see you later, alligators.
After a while,
Hey,
crocodile.
thanks, Shannon. I really love that one.
Wasn't that great?
Yes, that was
I
perfect.
can't even I'm sitting here and I can't remember all of them, so I'll do my best, but we're going to keep it real quick.
Oh,
Just, we love you, we're gonna
Bye-bye,
get...
butterfly.
Cut a rug, ladybug. I can't remember this one.
Bye. Good morning.
Morning, Grace.
I often wonder, when Maitland comes, if Jamie's fingers are still going to be attached to her hand. She is so rough on the fingers in this body that when you come into it, it almost feels as if there is heat in every knuckle in Jamie's hands.
She likes to fidget.
Well, she fidgets quite a bit. And thank you so much for my tea. But let's see, I think this has been steeping long enough.
It has, probably especially for that little teacup.
Let that down. Cheers, everyone. Hello, Lumineers. Oh, I do hear you speaking out. This is great. We could do question and answers telepathically.
That would make my job pretty easy.
Well, we're not letting you off that easy. Thank you, Maitland, for coming through and helping out with that introduction. We're going to let her come and entertain you who are watching. From this moment on, I want to address questions.
Okay.
And we'll
They're
get the
rolling through.
community in on this so that we can look at specific situations that individuals are going through and maybe walk through what it means to have calmness in chaos.
Got it?
Yes.
Okay. I have a really great opening question comment. Suzanne Goldsmith-Wilkes is asking, would you define the context that you are using the word chaos? I think of chaos typically in a global scale, but I do realize that chaos can occur in the workplace and in your family, so it would be helpful to share and have a clarification and context of that term.
Great. Thank you so much, Suzanne. We'll boil this down as tight as possible. Chaos is any environment within or without that does not align with your wholeness. It doesn't align with your mental beliefs, your emotional beliefs. It doesn't align with your physical beliefs, and it doesn't align with your spiritual beliefs. And you can substitute the word belief with boundary. So yes, indeed, it can be global, it can be at work, it can be at home, and it can be internal, in your head or in your heart. And some of you have spiritual struggles.
I have to share something.
Yes, please do.
Because it's coming in my head, so I want to. So I was once told that chaos stands for can't have anyone over syndrome.
Can't have anyone over.
Syndrome. So if there's chaotic, situations in your home or your home's a disarray, but I'm thinking we could also think of the home as our body. And if we're in chaos, we can't have anyone over.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
That you can
That was
barely
probably not-
have yourself over.
Exactly.
Because you're so externally focused on what's not aligning with you, whether it's uncleanly or unorganized or crossing boundaries or belief systems, that you can't even give attention to yourself. It was very well put. People are so clever.
Okay, I have a question from Tracy McDougall.
Hello, Tracy.
How does one navigate through chaos when their emotional body is in a freeze?
Now let's look at it both ways, Tracy. Let's look at it in a freeze, and then let's look at it in complete abundance. We have too much emotion. So in a freeze where we feel like we cannot feel, we're stuck, stagnant, and where we are feeling too much. So we're looking specifically, how do we find calm in chaos, in emotional chaos? So if we look in situations of, I was going to pick a home example. Do we have a home example that you've seen?
Not that I've seen yet. I have questions going very fast in front of me. So.
Wonderful. So let's not give an example, but how do we find the calm within emotional frozenness or abundantness? We look within our mental body, our physical body, and our spiritual body. Because there are some times when we leave one man behind. As Maitland says, we have 4 roommates. And when one roommate is down sick, whether it's a fever or a flu, then the other roommates need to own up in some responsibility to help. Now, there is a certain awareness. Emotions hold a very dear place for me. We are emotional beings. We are not human beings. You have come into this human life to experience an emotional ray of vibrations, of feelings, of experiences. So when emotions are frozen, to me, it shows up as you are in a location where you are unsafe and you cannot be you, and you might identify it as the wrong place. And often our head says, well, we have to persevere, we have to be loyal, we've made a commitment, we need to carry on. And this is often not the appropriate answer. This roommate of yours is pushing you to stay locked in a room that doesn't provide any food, it doesn't provide any growth. Whereas if the mental roommate was neutral and could show up to the frozen roommate's heart and say, what do you need? You are not safe. Well, let's look at ways that we can get you safe and start to help with meeting the need rather than pushing forward because one day you'll get over this and it'll all be okay. Often, as emotional beings, this is not what's needed. So with frozenness, I would look at, why are you there to begin with? Is this a situation that you can back away from to get a more of a crowd viewpoint or above viewpoint or third person viewpoint and not stay in it? Is this a situation where you can speak up and say, no more? Now, when there's an abundance of feeling, then it's almost as if the dial on the faucet is broken and all the water and all the water pressure is coming through in tons of pressure. And what we really need is to maintain or contain. So let's look at our spiritual body and our physical body and our mental body and say, I need peace. I need boundaries in place that protect me. And therefore, your belief systems around energetic exchange can then become firmer. What is mine is mine. What is yours is yours. I do not take responsibility for you. I do not claim to be the one to create that emotion for you. You are the one who created the emotion when I shared with you my truth. So there becomes an awareness where sometimes your body, let's say your heart body, has risen in vibration, and that is why it is frozen, because it knows you should not carry on. And the other 3 roommates, the other 3 bodies, have not risen in vibration. And so there's an imbalance. And that's why simply asking the question of what do you need, we can then get these other 3 roommates on the same level as your heart. Does it help? Silence across the room. Write back to me if this is useful and this helps. Good. Next question.
Monique Angela asks, a lot of my friends, including myself, seem to be going through chaotic times at the moment. Is this just a coincidence, or is there something bigger at play?
There is something bigger at play, my love. Mm-hmm. So what is happening now? From about 2000 and really, we could go back to 2001. It's been happening for decades, honestly, but 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19 are very dense, high vibrational times. And honestly, 16 is the strongest. There are a lot of hidden truths that are going to come out. And it takes very high vibrational push for this to happen. So you are merely bystanders to the earth raising her vibration. That's why most of you who have never in your entire lifespans at the age of 60 are now having panic attacks and issues, whereas before you've always been able to maintain a steady go, and now the earth has changed its vibration, and we can pretty much say half of us are getting it and the other half are on a very shaky ground. It's important to ground yourself to the earth. It really is. It's important to look at what is the earth's vibration doing? How can I connect to it? How can I raise my vibration and connect to it? Because if you can maintain on the same vibration as the earth, then as she grows and shifts and ebbs and flows, so will you, and you will always be on steady ground. There's something to say that when you are having chaos and everybody else around you is having it as well, there's something larger at play. Next.
Okay. I have a question from Amy Fargar.
Hello, Amy.
There have been many signs and messages that a world war has come due to the collective desire for a new flexible system to be created. There are also physical signs that the earth is ready to cleanse herself, which doesn't seem to be in humanity's favor. I know nothing is set in stone, but just in case, I'd like to surrender the current change and be neutral. How does one make peace with situations such as this while they are happening? I appreciate your guidance.
You're very welcome. The future for us as humans, not so much myself, but as humans is always held to a mystery. And often, the way that humans have been taught, a mystery is terrifying. You're taught that once you know and that you have control, then peace can be made with it. When we look in terms of future and war and devastation and earth shaking off the nasties in her back, we're looking at a mystery. And I speak from your viewpoint. And I think it's better to speak from your viewpoint. Narrowing all of this down is really hinging on how will I die? Will I experience war? Will I experience tsunami? Will I experience earthquake? Will my death be untimely? Will it come early? I want you to know that you can have confidence in knowing the choice that you've made to come into this life was truly yours. And that you are quite aware of all of your future. Inside of you, there is no mystery. The mystery is pretend so that we may grow and feel as if we have new experiences and stretch our muscles and our legs. I know that may not settle well with some of you, but know that you've chosen this life and that there is nothing untimely, and that you can indeed manage and handle and live and enjoy, live through all that is coming. Now, with that said, we put that aside. Let's look at world war. Yes, there is going to be more war in your future. Is it going to be like World War II? Is it going to be mass destruction? No. It's going to be played by a different set of rules. Will it seem unfair because we're not sticking to the terms and agreements of what war traditionally is? Yes, many of you will have opinions upon it. But will it serve to a greater cause? It will. Can it play out in a different way? Absolutely. But people on earth that are in power at this time are not attracted to learning how to communicate and meet each other's needs. Are your leaders growing into this? Yes, they are. Will Earth be alive and well to experience a very peaceful global connection. And yes, they will. Is it at 100%? No, it is not. And look at your families. Having a family of 5, 3 children and 2 parents, there's bound to be one who does not like the overall decision and wants to make an opinion. And we value that. Because on earth is a very special place where friction, anger, jealousy can exist. Earth is not looking to be like heaven. Earth is looking to be like earth. So set your reasonable goals. Include all the vibrational possibilities and not just those you value as special or attractive, positive, better. Will you experience many earthly upheavals, earthquakes, natural phenomenons? Absolutely. She has more under her sleeve than what you've seen. But is it all happening at once? No. Does it happen suddenly out of nowhere in a moment's time? No. There is notification. There are watchful eyes. There are announcements. Will death be caused by some of these natural destructions? Of course. Because some people don't want to watch the news, don't want to be in tune, don't want to believe. And so be it. I hope this has put your heart to rest. The way to find the calm and the mystery of the future is the trust you can have with your spirit body that made a very conscious decision to be present in this lifetime, carrying your name and going forth with your actions. This is how you find the peace in those moments.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I have a question from Amy Harper Willis. She asked, could Grace speak to the benefits or reasons why someone may want to participate in energy work for the purpose of centering and coming into balance?
Such as why somebody would want to.
Mm-hmm. I believe how energy work can help someone create balance within their bodies.
Wow. Energy work is incredible.
Sure is.
Energy work, Amy, is like the thread that holds all the pieces of your clothing together to make the dress. It can work on mental levels, it can work on emotional levels, it can work on physical levels, and it can work on spiritual levels. It precedes time and space and dimension. It is the one element, actually. Yes, it is the one element that you have that you can move, shift, give, warp, change. You can neither create it nor destroy it, but you can collect it and move it. And it will tie everything together. And when we are looking at staying calm or centered or neutral, we need to have those thoughts, Amy, connected to how you feel. We need to have that body, Amy, happy, without need. And we need to have those spiritual needs and yearnings and wants and concerns all together. All 4 of these thoughts need to be together on the same page. They need to go for the same attraction. Now, I think if I was being nitpicky, like I paused a moment ago, that energy is the thread that holds everything together. I would say, if we are defining energy, I would then say emotion. Because emotion is made of energy, and thought is made of energy, and skin is made of energy, and hair, and the clothing, and the thread itself. But to give you a level of importance, I would say that emotion is tethered right behind the energy, because emotion can precede all the bodies and other dimensional planes. So its level of importance is very high, because sometimes we're unaware of how we can move our energy or how we can use it to support our centeredness. So seeking someone who knows how to do this or is aligned to it, then the lesson is very welcomed. The help is very needed. Always ask for help if you can't do it yourself. We are a community.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
have a question from Regan Flores. How to keep the faith when you have no job and the income barely covers barely covers some of the monthly costs.
Hello,
so in
Regan.
financial difficulties.
Yes, in financial chaos. How do you find the calm? In this moment, I would look logically. Logically, the head has defined a need for more financial security, because then that would either give nutrition to family or freedom to be oneself or whatever it's tethered to. It provides security. Then I would talk to the head and see what is the relationship with the money. Is it paralleling someone else? How do we make peace with it? I would find the gratitude with receiving the money that you have. But I would also acknowledge that when you are striving to meet a goal and you never reach the finish line, have you had this, Lumineers, where you push and you go, but you never reach the finish line the way that you feel you need it to be? I would say you're running the wrong race. Yes. Maybe you're actually a swimmer or a bicyclist, and you're not really a runner. But you're making yourself be a runner because that's what you saw with your parents or that's what you learned at college. And I would say to myself, what is it that brings me joy? And is there a career positioned in that place that brings me joy? And I would immediately begin to design a way to pull away from the career that I had and maneuver myself, whether it's 1 year or 2 years, into a position that at least gives me the joy. Because as soon as you're experiencing the joy at work, guess what else comes with it? The money. The money comes. Because when you're identifying constantly that you're working and you're not making enough, then all that's in line for you is lack of, missing bits of. And what you feel is the responsibility then to fill in those gaps. So you might then become an overachiever, overworked, burnt out. Then you might feel like a failure because you didn't end up with the free time that you needed for yourself or for your family or for other things. And you're still not being able to pay the bills. There is always a way. Even if you have handicaps, such as blindness or depression, or if we look at a physical illness and you must remain at home, there are so many companies and corporations that hire people who work from home. So anything that you find is, well, that's a thing, and this is a thing, and that's a thing, I will gently say to you, my love, this is only an excuse. It is a speed hump that you've put in your way to keep you as a victim or lack of, because your head has now been so worn down that it will often tell you the story that you're not enough, that there's not an abundance, and that there's no worth or confidence. And when your head begins to say these stories, and then other people come in to help, it is such a lovely light to receive help from others. And sometimes we stay in a victim pattern and we don't know it. We're not aware of it. Because we're so relieved that someone has come to help. And that feels so good. And for the first time ever, that was an answer for you, that it worked for you. And so you begin to look for that again. Who else will help me as I'm going through this? Who else? But if you yourself are not making the changes to come back into financial stability, worth, confidence, love, then you are keeping yourself a victim and relying on others to give you the answer. I only mention this, I don't feel this is 100% part of your story, but for other people who are listening, it is. Finding the calmness is understanding why you're withholding joy and why are you withholding money. What was the need that was missing? No opinion when you answer this. Don't side with loyalty, you've been in the job forever, or your brother got you the job, or this was the best that you could find, and if you leave it, nothing else will be there. I don't want those kinds of thoughts. Because if you believe in them, that's exactly what will happen for you. If you cannot do this on your own, Lumineers, as we're talking about finding center, finding calm when one of the bodies are in chaos, go to someone who can help you. A life coach, a therapist, someone who will talk to you, but give you the reins to have control over the conversation. Because if you can own the conversation, then you can own your answer. And none of this thinking that it happens overnight. Well, I'm in control of my own thoughts, so if I change my belief system, then immediately everything else will change in my life. Now, that is a true statement, but you define immediately as overnight, when sometimes immediately can be in 2 years. Time is a fickle thing. Do things the best way for yourself, and what you would call the right way for yourself, and they will be there for a lifetime. Slow down, take care of yourself and look at it. But getting neutral within this chaos will show you a lot of the direction that you can go in.
Okay, Heather Holt-Huther
Hello, Heather.
asks, would you be able to explain light activation? Will that increase your vibration/energy level?
It does. So light activation, or even DNA awareness, increasing, igniting. What are the other terms that are out there now? There's so many. Correction, enhancement. Have you heard of them? All of these things. When you're choosing to allow a vibrational pattern into your energetic body, into your physical body, it will alter the state of the physical body in a way that it can maintain more light energy than before without having a side effect. So you think, energy has a side effect? Well, yes. If your container remains very small and you are pushing tons of light and higher vibration through it, this container will suffer. Sometimes people will have heart palpitations, they'll have upset tummies, some will have pains in their body, but doctors don't know what they are. This could simply mean that your body is holding so much energy or a vibration so much higher that it's not used to. The body doesn't know how to process it, connect to it, and react to it. So receiving these kinds of healings or adjustments or attunements will help your body understand how to connect to a higher vibrational pattern, how to move the energy through your body without side effects. But I do want to put a warning on this. If I had that sticky white little paper that says warning, do not consume while driving, and put it on the medicine bottle, I would say warning, when we choose to enlighten and grow, not just from receiving attunements, energy work, balancing work, DNA work, whatever it is, but choosing just to be enlightened with thought as you move on, the warning is such: being human and being in your day-to-day life, within your culture, the demands, becomes very difficult and distant, or I should say, can be very difficult. Only because once we raise our vibrations so much, we look at the world around us, and all of a sudden, all we can see is how we cannot connect. We no longer really understand why people are that way, or why there is so much trash, or why certain demands or long hours, why aren't people allowing other people to be people? And so be prepared as you grow higher to let go of the lower vibrations, because maintaining all of it is too much to ask of any person. I'm not saying that when you raise your vibration you become a hermit and you have to move somewhere on the top of a mountain. Every mountain would be taken over. I'm simply saying that when you heighten your energy, be aware that there will be some conflict, that you will need to let go of what can no longer survive because of your new awareness. And there might come with it some grief. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Do you get the adjustments? Next.
Okay, I have a question from Monica Stevens Diaz. She asks, I feel the need to love Mother Earth. How can I send Mother Earth love? And I'd like to add to the question, if Monica doesn't mind, and if you don't mind, Grace, because it's come up for me lately in my life. How can I send people love that I'm in conflict with? Instead of sending out negative thoughts, how do we send people that we are in conflict with love?
Yes. So it tags along with what Monica is asking about the earth. My easiest way that I can explain of how to give Earth love is simply to think of her and to send her that white light, that attention. Take time away from your daily activity and donate it to her. Sit down. You could be on the 40th story in some skyscraper. Sit down in your chair, even way up high, and connect to the center of the earth. See your heart and her heart, the center of the earth, connecting, and see your love being translated to the core of the earth, and see your love going out into the surface of the earth. Now, some of you, it might take a little bit of time for you to really mentally comprehend that you, cute little lumineer, has so much light that it can cover the entire surface of the earth and go into the atmosphere. You can do this. It is your right. You are a part of her and she is a part of you. And she uses that energy. And also think of her, Monica, as a good recycler. So when you're ditching your thoughts or crying your tears over the chaos we're talking about, allow them to fall to earth so that she may turn it over into newness, into something that will serve for a greater purpose. Everything has purpose. Your angst, your anger, your depression, your worry can all be sent to the earth as she turns it in to something that will grow, that's needed. Now, when you're talking in terms of how do I give energy to someone that maybe is causing harm to me in one of my four bodies, whether it's mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse. Some of you may have a hard time just specifically picking that person out and wrapping them in white light, because I've noticed some of you will start wrapping someone in white light that you don't like, and you'll start wrapping it tighter and tighter, like it turns into a white rope, and then that person can't move, but you're like, I'm a good person because it's white light, and you start making it where they've mummified them. Well, even too much of a good thing can go wrong, because you're doing it with an agenda of harm. And what we would like for you to do is do it with no agenda. Neutral. You're sending love to allow this person, whether they've caused harm to you or not, to do what they see fit with that energy. If you send love and you say, listen, I want you to take this love and be a better person. I want you to learn your lesson and go love somebody else the way you didn't love me. Well, my little Lumineer, that wasn't judgy at all, was it? That was sarcastic. That came with an agenda, with strings attached. So I would enjoy more, and you would too, because it's not your responsibility to teach that other person that lesson or to tell them how to use what you are giving. If you are giving something, you give it willingly and for free. Expect nothing in return. No change, no growth, no nothing. And if you feel you cannot do that, then you give freely to the earth, and you tell the earth, give to who needs it. Or give to that person I was talking about before, the one I was wrapping so tight in white light that they can no longer move. Now, if none of those things fit you, a beautiful, dark, black, neutral energy is absolutely gorgeous. So in your chaos, whether it's your mind, your heart, your body, your soul, whether your chaos is coming from a building, from a boss, from a work, from a situation, from a telephone, from a pet, you can take a beautiful, velvety, non-reflective, soft, fuzzy, warm, black cloth. And you can take it and you can just drape that person with it. Imagine the situation, the emotion, the thought. Imagine the person, the building, the phone, whatever it is, in your mind's eye, and you imagine it in a black room, like a studio room. It's all black, and there's that image, there's that situation, there's that person, there's whatever it is, and you come into the room with this beautiful, thick, gorgeous, soft, black, velvety blanket, and you drape them. And as you drape them, I want you to show gratitude. Gratitude for the interaction. Even if you can't find anything positive or negative, I'm not asking you to, just show gratitude for the situation. Gratitude for the emotions created. Drape it. And I want you to see in your mind's eye you walking out to the room. And then when you look back into the room, it's all going to be black. It's blank. Black contains all the vibrations in the world. Black. Now, black light contains none of the vibrations in the world. It's truly empty. It's beautiful. White light contains all the vibrations. Black light contains none. Black fabric contains all the vibrations, but white fabric contains none. It's interesting.
Well, I think we are finished.
Oh,
Grace.
we can't be
But we
finished.
would love for you to wrap it, give us some.
Isn't there one
final
more
tidbits.
that just hung on your tongue?
I'm looking back. We had a question previously, and I can't find it, and it's how can the Lumineers connect to you specifically? How do they know when they're connected to you, and how do they find you?
Wonderful. For me, when you call my name, I come. It is simply that. I require no ritual, I require no candle burnt, and no special prayer. I'm your friend. I'm your guide. I have come here for a reason, Lumineers. Not simply to help Jamie or be solely dedicated to her. I'm solely dedicated to humanity, to the world, to good communication and to wholeness. So whether you are a kinetic meditator and you are running or driving or walking or rocking in a chair, you call my name and I will be there. If you are a visual meditator and you're guiding yourself through music and all sorts of imageries, whether it's on the other side of the bridge, I will be there. I have noticed some of you see me with lighter colored hair and some of you see me with darker colored hair. But just simply know that shows my age, for I had lighter color hair when I was younger and it got a bit more brown as I got older. Visuals to me don't matter. If you give me the time, I will be there. Now, each and every one of us are different. So for me to say, you know when I'm there when you hear me say, Gracie's here, that won't necessarily be the case. But I certainly do love hugging and supporting, and you may find that your chest feels lighter, that you feel softer in your body, and for that you can say hello to me. Be kind to yourself, and let's do this together. Each and every one of you. I'm willing to answer questions, to help you show your way. And that's why I really enjoy how you have been so cooperative in keeping the questions in this community focused on the topic at hand, so that we may dive deeper into our belief systems. And we will provide sessions where we will answer personal questions of what you're going through to help you grow into your belief systems. But thank you for helping us make them stronger in this community. For that, I say Godspeed. Take care, Lumineers.
Bye, Grace.
With Jamie.